Welcome to Doug in Exile. We're going to go into some of the potential government shutdown as threatened by Chuck Schumer, and Trump's going to address that also. But mostly I brought you lots of news today. We're going to get all around. This is going to deal with Tucker Carlson, a little bit from Mike Davis. Anyways, welcome to Doug in Exile. To my patriots out there, especially in the Quad Club who watch all 4 videos. Can't thank you enough for helping keep the lights on around here and keeping things humming along. I bring you the news. I bring the most important 4 episodes, like just news that I think is really showing where culture's going, what the future of MAGA is, and how we're going to destroy the Democrat Party. And it's all good news. Welcome. This is the first Trump summons Dems to avoid their shutdown threats. So far, now they never followed through on this. I'm going to tell you that. But he invited them to come over and say, look, they're not going to vote for this thing that he needs to be able to approve his budget. So Schumer and Jeffries demanded a meeting. So Trump's giving them one this Thursday. That was supposed to be in 2 days. Government funding expires September 30th. That's in 1 week. And Democrats want more health care billions. Remember, they're threatening that Medicare is in some kind of trouble, but they're of course being fraudulent. They do not want Medicare to lower its expenses or its payments because they're so corrupt. They're trying to use it though to fool you. And on the subject of Medicare, let's get to our sponsor chapter. If you or someone you know is seeking to get on Medicare, then you really need to pay attention because there's no question that it's frustrating and confusing. In fact, confusing at times, probably on purpose. Why? Remember, the Department of Justice have already sued the top 3 brokers in the country for kickbacks.
The Department of Justice has just filed a complaint accusing 3 of the largest health insurers of paying illegal kickbacks to major insurance brokers in exchange for steering patients into insurers' Medicare Advantage plans.
This is the bottom line. Chapter has unbiased, independent Medicare advisors. The call with them is free. So call Chapter today at 631-961-8696. One of you just posted this on this channel. Chapter's awesome. It saved me $3,000 a year out of my pocket. You know how much stuff you can buy? How many Pokemon cards you can buy with $3,000 a year? Again, the number is 631-961-8696. Okay, so getting back to the article, the Senate already rejected a funding bill and fled town for 1 week. So this is them on their vacation, right, getting out. And then Trump's going to change his mind on them right now. This is the tweet that he put out today after reviewing the details of the usurious and ridiculous demands being made by the minority radical left Democrats in return for their votes to keep their thriving country open. I have decided that no meeting with their congressional leaders could possibly be productive. They are threatening to shut down the government of the United States unless they can have over $1 trillion in new spending to continue free health care for illegal aliens. That's what they want when they talk about saying you're going to get cuts in Medicare, Medicaid, and your benefits. What they really mean is they're trying to protect the money that you paid for in your taxes and all of our income going to illegals. So Trump said, no meeting this Thursday. That's going to be in 2 days. So we'll find out. Maybe they'll take some of this off the table to negotiate and try and get a meeting. But it means Trump believes that he has the goodwill of the people and the media on his side, so that even if he doesn't have this meeting, they say, Trump won't even talk to us. Trump goes, yeah, you guys are all frauds and you can all eat it. Just vote. He's going, fine, vote. I'm going to control the narrative on you guys and ground you guys into the... I just want to ask you guys, are you going to believe it? Are you going to believe it when the media tells you that Trump is cutting off all of your services and that it's his fault instead of the Democrats that would not vote for his continued resolution? The open borders, they allow men to play in women's sports. Now he's going to go down the long laundry list, essentially create transgender operations for everybody. These radical left views and policies is what allowed me to win the presidential election. True, including all 7 swing states and popular vote in a historic landslide. Why is he doing that? And why is that not off topic? He's basically sending them a message, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. I won, I'm popular, you guys are unpopular, and I run this media. I run it. I'm going to grind your face in it. So he's threatening them now. Oh, you want me to keep bringing up how you wanted to trans the kids, how you wanted? He brings up these very unpopular positions that they held and they have not negated. And then he's going to use it to run this budget through. He says there are consequences to losing elections, but based on their letter to me, the Democrats haven't figured out that yet. They are trying to eliminate the popular $50 billion rural and vulnerable hospital fund, which was passed with only Republican votes and proudly signed into law by me. The Democrats in Congress seem to have totally lost their way. They obviously have no idea what it means to put America first or to make America great again. And he goes on about the transgenders he brings up again, and he goes into his mandate. So this just shows he's sending a message back. He's calling their bluff. And I just want to know if you guys are going to fall for it when the Democrats run this stuff down our throats. They're going to try and go, Trump, Trump wouldn't even listen to us. Here's Mike Davis. This is a big update on Pam Bondi. There's some people who go, oh, Pam Bondi, she doesn't do anything. Guys, she has over 300 arrests under her belt. People that I still get it in my chat. I don't know why. They go, where's the arrest? They're just angry there's not any celebrity arrests. But they've made 3,000 arrests since they've gotten into office. Here's Mike Davis with another huge win. Congratulations to AG Pam Bondi, U.S. Attorney Jason Redding, Quinones, and USAO SDFL, blah. Okay. For the prosecution team for winning the criminal trial against Ryan Ruth. Remember the guy with the blue hair wrapped in the American flag who was the second attempt at Trump's life? He's one of the golf course in the bushes with his little gun. Ryan Ruth, for the attempted assassination of President Trump. Pam Bondi got him. Guilty on all counts. And thank you to the U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon, remember her on the Trump documents case, for running a fair trial. Okay. Now, during I don't know if you guys heard this in the news, but right after he was found guilty, Ryan Ruth tried grabbing a pen and tried to ram it in his own neck. And they had to grab him and wrestle him to the ground to keep him from stabbing himself with a pen. This guy's a nut. This guy makes no sense. You know what? The thing is, our rational mind, when something evil like this happens, we try to find reasons. You go, what's the cause? What's the cause? Or even when good happens, what's the cause of good? There's not always a cause and effect. Sometimes evil people just act evil. And then you're going to try and go back and find out, well, what did he eat? Who did he vote for? What was his position on whatever? You know what? Sometimes nutty, evil people do nutty, evil things. You cannot always explain it. Now, this one was interesting to me because I told you guys during the Charlie Kirk Memorial that I thought one of the most amazing things I saw was Tucker Carlson's preaching. I thought his message was straightforward. It was the greatest gospel message I'd ever heard. So then I see online, everyone's flipping out going, Tucker, he's being anti-Jew again, which I think was totally wrong, okay? If I smelled something anti-Jew from Tucker, I would have nailed him on it. And I've nailed him on it before. But this message he gave, people got a little too spooked and they tried condemning him because he rightly gave accounts in the Bible where the Jews wanted Jesus dead. But it wasn't just the Jews. Do you know who else wanted Jesus dead? Who wanted Jesus dead? The devil wanted Jesus dead. Rome. Pontius Pilate washed his hands and handed him over to be killed. Rome's the one that crucified him. So Rome wanted him dead. The devil wanted him dead. And God sent his only begotten son. God wanted Jesus dead. And my sins, do you know who killed Jesus? My sins. Here's Tucker Carlson. Now, I don't like posting people's private messages, but this one's already out in public, okay? So this is Alex Berenson, the full back and forth, which you can see on the Substack. He went and texted him, and this is a private conversation that they approved to make public. And I'm sorry, this text is so small. I'm just going to read it to you. This is one of those guys they're asking Tucker, hey, Tucker, I'm hoping you might have a few minutes to talk about your speech at Charlie's Memorial and some of the other stuff you've said recently. I totally understand your concerns about Israel real, even if I don't agree with all of them, but a lot of what you're saying feels anti-Semitic. There's no way. There's no other way to say it. And I know I'm not alone in feeling this way. Heck, forget what the Jews think, because a lot of Jews came out after Tucker. The anti-Semites clearly think so. So the anti-Semites came out on Tucker's side and said, yay, Jews killed Jesus. It is true. It is anti-Semitic. If you only say that only Jews killed Jesus, that's anti-Semitic, okay? If you go down the list of everyone that wanted Jesus killed, then I don't think it's anti-Semitic. I'm really sorry about this. This is Tucker responding back privately, okay? He says, I'm really sorry about this. All I can say is that it wasn't my intention to say anything about Jews, and certainly did not imply they killed Charlie Kirk. Now, that's what Candace Owens said. The Jews killed Johnny. These people are nuts. They're so anti-Semitic and crazy that they blame everything on the Jews, which I don't think, says Tucker. I thought I was giving the most unifying, non-controversial speech ever. True. What I described is the central story of Christianity, and it's so familiar to Christians that it never occurred to me that anyone would be offended. I had no clue until people started sending me Twitter links from all the accounts that are mad at me about my position on Bibi, Netanyahu, and Iran, which again, I disagree with Tucker Carlson on that. Every page of the New Testament was written by Jews, says Tucker, most of it by former Pharisees. So from a Christian perspective, the claim that the gospel is anti-Semitic doesn't even make sense. Okay, so anyways, my point is Tucker Carlson cleared that up. I was right in guessing about him that he was not making an anti-Semite. He was shocked by it, and I can disagree with him, but he is not an anti-Semite. He might even make some anti-Semite arguments. He shared the gospel free and clear. Now, you guys know I like ending you guys on a point of comedy, and we're going to do so today, even though it is from a very strange source, and by very strange, I mean Angelina Jolie. This is Angelina Jolie saying how the country, she doesn't feel like she's comfortable in her own country anymore. Angelina Jolie.
Say that I love my country, but I don't at this time recognize my country.
Okay, remember when a liberal says they don't recognize their country, that's always a good thing. I don't want them to recognize this as their liberal, communist, Hollywood country. I want them to recognize this as all of our country, a country of patriots, a country of the Constitution, a country that voted for Donald Trump. What she means is like, dude, where's my country? Which Michael Moore used to say. What happened to my country? And remember, I thought the same thing when I saw Biden and Harris ruling their evil regime. I'm going, I don't recognize my country. Where's the patriots at? Why are we all wearing masks and separated? Why are we all being censored? Why? Why are we all terrified right now? Why is my border wide open? I don't recognize my country. I see a lot of other countries spilling over our border. I don't recognize it.
And I think that's, but I've always lived internationally. My family's international, my friends, my life, my worldview is.
I'm intercontinental when I eat French toast. That's actually a quote of the Beastie Boys. I can't take credit for that.
Equal, united, international. So anything, anywhere that divides or, of course, limits personal expressions and freedoms and from anyone, I think is very dangerous. And
it's kind of funny to watch an actor have to speak for themselves because suddenly they have no words. It all comes out word salad if they're not reading a brilliant writer. Okay, I can't even follow it. It's so slow. I don't like seeing liberals being sad, though. I know we talk about drinking their tears and all that stuff. You know, people, I want them to walk around in this country and go, this is my land. And instead, she's walking around going, I live internationally and I raise my children internationally. In other words, I'm not a citizen of this country. I'm a citizen of all other countries. Okay. I'm a patriot of this country. I love my country. People always ask me, oh, to Naples, what country of origin is that? Is that Dutch? I go, yeah. And they go, hey, the Dutch, da-da-da. If you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. I go, screw that. I ain't Dutch. I'm American. I don't care about my DNA heritage at all. Zero. I have 0 Dutch flags in this house. And I'm not against the Dutch. Okay, if you're Dutch and you're out in Holland and you're out doing your thing out in Europe, hey, everybody have fun. But I'm American. I don't care about you I'm not international. I'm not trying to impress the globe, the world forum.
I think these are such serious times that we have to be careful not to say things casually. So I'll be careful during a press conference, but to say that.
Yeah, you should feel careful. Now you know how I feel for the last 4 years when we're terrified of getting canceled. When I had my YouTube channel taken away, when I was kicked off of other platforms, when I lost my jobs in Hollywood from you people, I had to be very careful. You say, I think marriage should be between a man and a woman. You lost your job. So maybe you should tiptoe around a little more. And you're looking a little thin. Maybe you should eat Z-Bugs. Anyways, this has been a wonderful time together, guys. I can't wait to bring you more news tomorrow. I don't want you to miss any of it. I want you guys to subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below to tell me about where you're from. I want to hear from you. Are you upset that Angelina Jolie is upset, or are you laughing in her face? Because I think those are both appropriate responses. I'm Doug in Exile.